Houston, I am mad at the progressives. Houston, why am I mad at the progressives? Well, part of that is because I just hate myself. That is part of the reason. And as progressive, I will, of course, always hate the progressives, right? That is part of the reason. But the larger reason is that I think particularly online progressives are profoundly bad at our job. Just like profoundly bad at our job. I want to focus on a little bit of a thing. It's called Politics is for Power. Politics is for Power. There's a book by that title. Politics is for Power. Give me a moment to find this book because it's an orgasmic book. How to Move Beyond Political Hobbyism, Take Action, and Make Real Change. It's by Eitan D. Hirsch. It's a very good book. I've read it before. And it's about basically the idea of political hobbyism and looking at politics in the same way basically that you look at sports, right? And like when you're thinking about like, okay, I'm a fan of the Yankees, let's clarify. I'm not actually a fan of any baseball team or any sports ball team of any kind. I'm actually kind of proud of myself for remembering that Yankees is a baseball team. I'm like 90% sure that's right. But like when I think about what it is to be a sports ball team player, not a player rather, but a fan, what it means is to be like, oh, I want them to win. Doesn't mean doing anything to make them win. Just means that you want them to win. There are people involved in the world of sports that are on the team, and even if they're not on the team, are, a manager or are, like responsible for making sure that their airplanes are on time, doing things that have an active effect on the ability of their team to win. Those people are the only people who actually matter from a perspective of sports, who actually matter in terms of making that team win or lose, right? I worry that a lot of people approach politics in the same way as sports, and that they're approaching it as like, I want the lefties to win, but they're not doing anything to make the lefties win. And it's just like profoundly frustrating to me. And I actually think that it's worse than useless. Useless people are the politically disengaged. But I think the more time I spend in the online ether, right, among the degenerates, the longer I'm there, the more I've started to convince myself that they're actually like profoundly bad for America. That people like Jimmy Dore, and in this case, people like Kyle Kulinski. I should clarify, Kyle Kulinski is not nearly as bad as Jimmy Dore. But in this particular case, Kyle Kulinski said something that was profoundly stupid, and was talking about this article that is a profoundly stupid article. And they're just approaching politics from a perspective of like, I want my team to win, and they don't really have an understanding of what winning is. It's more about like getting my people elected and having my people say the things that will make me happy when they talk about it on Twitter. And like, I'm sorry, I don't care if you look cute on Twitter. I care if you make the policies that are cute. I like cute policies, not just cute shit being done on Twitter.
Yeah.
Now I want to clarify, what do I mean by a cute policy? A cute policy, for example, would be getting people fucking healthcare during the worst national pandemic in literally 100 years. That would be an example of a cute policy. I would appreciate that as a policy.
Yeah.
Here's another cute policy. I would appreciate, like, hear me out, if we had better infrastructure, right? I would appreciate if we could get all of these things that are like actual, like, things, right? Not just like talking on Twitter. Now, I'm all for talking on Twitter, but the talking on Twitter is so that, right, if you're doing the talking on Twitter correctly, the goal of the talking on Twitter is to get you power. The goal of having, like, it's to get you into places like Congress. The goal of being in Congress is not to look good on Twitter, right? This is just like the wrong direction of the things. Politics, right? That's the stuff that we're doing. That's the generating of a position on Twitter. That's like the riling up of the base. That's the politics. But politics is for power. The power is the Congress. The power is the Senate. So these people are getting super mad at Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who is not a perfect person, is not above criticism, but they're super mad at her for daring to defile Twitter by like talking to people like Nancy Pelosi, the most powerful person in Congress, right? They're like super
Wait,
mad.
really? Is that what this is about?
This is a whole article, and it's not that short of an article. And then it's not just the article; it's also Secular Talk, Kyle Kulinski, who has literally almost 1 million subscribers. Okay, talking about how awful they are for daring to like not use Tea Party tactics, right? And not be doing all of this nonsense as though we're the Tea Party. But like, let's unpack this. Holy shit, you just became a bunch of pixels. I'm a big fan.
Yeah.
I'm leaving this in the video. I like these pixels. I don't know what the hell is going on with your face, but I'm a big fan. I'm going to make your face big just so we can look at your face. Wow. What a beautiful face. That is extraordinary.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a big fan. But the point is that like, this is a real problem. Like the approach of thinking of us as though we're the Tea Party just fails to recognize that we're not the Tea Party. The Tea Party came to power in a time where the Republicans, you're back to being normal, and that's wonderful. The Republicans had no power. This was in 2010. Who was in office? Oh yeah, Obama, right? And they knew full well that they were never going to be able to actually pass anything under the Obama administration that was going to actually get anything conservative done. So when you don't have power, that's time for politics. That's the time where you garner support among your base and garner support among the broader American public. If you aren't in office, right, if you are trying to rally that support, it makes complete sense to say crazy things. Not I shouldn't say crazy things as like an equivalence between the left and the right, because obviously the Tea Party is genuinely insane. And when I say crazy on the left, normally what I'm saying at a generalized level is like they're not actually crazy, but these are things that are outside of like the Overton window of the United States. And so like I think that they're just looking at this as though we don't have power, as though we don't have an ability to actually affect policy among the Pelosi regime, among the Biden regime, among the Chuck Schumer regime. We do have the ability to affect that. And the only way to do that is by fucking working with them. It's not rocket science.
Yeah. I mean, like they're the leaders of the Democratic Party. And if you want to do anything, you have to like talk to them and work with them to get it done. So like
it's not rocket science.
I don't understand.
Yeah. So I kind of want to shit on Kyle Kulinski a little bit. So let's watch this thing of Kyle Kulinski's. Kabloof.
Okay.
Right.
Oh, we both started.
Unfortunately, I got to pound the gavel on this one, man. I got to pound the gavel. I think that this is maybe the most devastating story yet that I've seen about the squad, and it brings me no pleasure to talk about it. But this is an article that was originally in Bloomberg. Look at what they say. Leading progressives, like Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, had a choice after they won an election in 2018 and expanded their ranks in 2020. Challenge Democratic leaders from the sidelines or get in the game. Now their decision to play by Congress's rules is giving them clout in a government under unified Democratic control with President Joe Biden. Members of Representative Ocasio-Cortez's so-called squad are taking leadership roles in the House and building experience on Capitol Hill, turning them into not just ideological purists, but also strategic legislators. They're gently pushing a bolder Democratic strategy and meeting regularly with White House aides, bringing liberal dreams like a $15 federal minimum wage and a permanent child tax credit within reach. Rather than starting a rival group within the Democratic Party, far-left members are joining and taking leadership positions in the 95-member Congressional Progressive Caucus that's been around for 3 decades.
All of this
Minnesota
is good.
Representative Ilhan Omar, also elected in 2018, now leads the CPC's vote counting team. This is a different approach than the Tea Party Republicans took after they were elected in 2010 at the midpoint of the first Obama term. Instead, they challenged GOP leadership and spurned the existing conservative Republican study committee to start the Freedom Caucus and draw a starker ideological line.
Like, he's so mad that people dare. I know, it's very frustrating. I hate ads. It's just like, he's so mad that people dare to, like, do their job. That people dare to talk about the importance of actually getting things done.
That breaks my heart. It breaks my heart.
Why does it break your heart, Kyle Kulinski?
The original name, the working name for Justice Democrats when I co-founded it, was the left Tea Party. Now, we eventually settled on Justice Democrats, but the actual idea in its genesis was, let's create a left Tea Party. The whole point was to get a bunch of them elected, get a block, send them to D.C., and have them act exactly like the Tea Party. The Tea Party took on John Boehner and hated John Boehner just as much
when the Tea
as they
Party
hated Barack
wasn't
Obama.
in power. Hold up.
And they-
What is the Tea Party equivalent? What are the Tea Party, the crazy Republicans, doing when they actually had Trump in office? Oh yeah, they were working with Trump. They were actually getting things done. They were actually trying to exact policy because they recognize that, when you're Jim Jordan and you're talking to a bunch of people who don't have power and you're talking to a bunch of Republicans, your goal is to change the Republican Party, is to ensure that the Republican Party comes to be more in line with you. They succeeded in that, broadly speaking. Trump is pretty in line with them comparative to the Romneys or the McCains of the prior era. So like in that sense, they were successful. Eventually, it took them a while, right? They didn't win in 2012, but they did win in 2016. 2010 happened. That's when the beginning of the Tea Party happened, right? I would argue that like 2016ish, 2018ish is when sort of this groundswell of left-wing policies started to come to the forefront with Bernie, with the aftermath of Bernie, which included Rashida Tlaib, which included AOC, which included Ilhan Omar, all of those people, right? This is the growth of a movement that isn't something that happens over a single election. It's something that happens over time. There is multiple steps to the process, right? And so, yeah, we are succeeding, right? We saw Bernie almost win fucking twice. He literally goes around calling himself a socialist, and he had his fucking he went on a vacation. Fucking what's it called? The thing after your wedding. I'm blanking on its name. This is pathetic.
Honeymoon?
A honeymoon. This is why you know I'm single. Yeah. Okay. He went on his honeymoon in the Soviet Union. Literally, this guy went on his honeymoon in the Soviet Union, and he almost became president twice. Okay, we're doing well. Yeah, we're doing pretty well at pushing left. We really are. But it doesn't happen over a single period. And when you are able to make some amount of progress, not all of the progress, but some amount of the progress, for example, getting people fucking healthcare, even if it's not universal healthcare, in the precise way of Medicare for all that we support, right? Any form of universal healthcare is better than not having universal healthcare. Why? Because I don't like people dying on the street, Kyle. That's why, okay? These people are stupid. They're genuinely unintelligent. They don't understand our society. Yes.
Well, I was going to say that I think that, like, if your goal is to, like have this movement and to like push like your like left agenda, you do have to get the people on your side, like on your team, you know, like part of that is you have to get the Pelosi's and the Bidens to like be on board with your progressive policy, because they're the ones who can do it.
For sure.
You know, like that's what you have to do. So like I don't understand what he's complaining about.
Right. And the frustration is like he's like, remember a while back, there was a real frustration with Kamala Harris fist bumps Lindsey Graham, right? This video, we don't have to watch the actual sound. It doesn't matter. The sound is irrelevant. But this is a video of Kamala Harris fist bumping Lindsey Graham. And this went so viral because so many lefties were so mad that Kamala Harris dared to defile like law or some shit by fist bumping Lindsey Graham. It's just like, I'm sorry, he's a fucking sitting senator. He has a lot of power. Like, you can't get mad at her for being like cordial. Yeah. With a colleague who has a lot of power. You want to get things done? Like, is Lindsey Graham going to be perfect on every single issue? Hell no. Should Lindsey Graham leave his job? Yes. Do I like Lindsey Graham?
Yes.
No. Do I think he's bad for
No.
America? Yes. Do I think that he
Yes.
that he fundamentally just looks for a daddy and he found first John McCain, which is a moderately acceptable daddy, then John McCain died, and then his new daddy became Donald J. Trump? Yes. Do I recognize this as a serious problem? Absolutely. Do I think that he has no backbone whatsoever? Yes. Is he also powerful and important? I don't want to watch this Chevron commercial. I refuse to allow the propaganda of the car industry to percolate in the context of our show. But like, this is a problem. This is a problem. You know, it's a serious. Like, these people don't understand how power works. It's your job to push for left-wing power to take place so that we can actually get the agenda passed, so that we can actually fucking do things, not just look cute on YouTube and Twitter.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I want to cancel secular talk. That's my decision. We're going to cancel
you think this
secular
is cancel-worthy?
talk. Well, do I think it's
cancel-worthy?
cancel-worthy? I don't know what it would mean to cancel secular talk. Like, I honestly...
I mean, he looks kind of like a dick.
He looks like a dick?
Yeah.
He looks like a Kyle. If I look at him, I'm just like, yep, yes, your name is in fact Kyle. That makes sense.
Oh, yeah.
That is the correct name for you to be named. I agree with Kyle. With a Kyle as an attribution of you as a human being. If I were to think of the embodiment of a Kyle, what I would think of is this with a slightly, I don't want to say fatter, but like more like elongated cheekbones. I would imagine the Kyle to have like a square jaw that's the same size of the head. It's just that it's more of like a, if I'm going to make myself big so that people can see this, it's more of like a, you know? His face is like a, it needs to be like, the ideal Kyle would be like an, you know? That's the ideal Kyle.
Okay.
The maximized version of a Kyle. Yes. But other than this, Kyle Kulinski is the quintessential Kyle. That is what he is. And he is wrong. Yeah. Do we have other things to say? I feel like we've covered it.
I think we've covered it.
Yeah. I've decided that we're going to declare war on secular talk. The goal is to pass secular talk in subscribers by next Tuesday. That's the goal. All right.
Okay. Yeah.
So like and subscribe so we can defeat secular talk. Au revoir.